Hello and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, the strategies, and the insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today, I am very lucky to introduce somebody I've known for a couple of years now. It's Kristy of Mertz Design Studio. How's it going, Kristy?
Hi, it's good. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. Christy, I know a little bit about you, but I would love to just start this off by having you tell us a little bit about your background and a little bit more about Mertz Design Studio.
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is a designer. So I started off in the design world with a graphic design degree, but I got thrown into the world of environment and architecture, spent a long time learning how to make a three-dimensional brand in spaces. And through that journey, I just fell in love with branding in general. So in January of this year, myself and two partners purchased Mertz Design Studio. It was founded by my uncle about 20 years ago. So it's a second generation family owned business. And we are now a certified woman owned business as well. We really focus on helping people launch brands and products. So we have services that range from brand development and graphic design through product development with industrial designers and package, and helping people move things off the shelf with animation, two-dimensional and 3D animation. So we're really structured to help people take an idea and take it all the way through to sell it and make it a real product out in the world.
I've seen some of the work you've done,
Yeah.
and you can easily check it out for anybody listening on the website. But it's amazing, and you have a pretty unique story in that you worked at essentially your uncle's design firm, and then you
Mhm.
bought it. What are some key differences between how it was before and how it is under your helm?
Yeah. So a couple of the things that we really wanted to zero in on was finding and creating the right culture. So I joined Mertz right around the shift of COVID, like the post-COVID year where everybody goes, what am I doing? And a lot of people left where they were working to find new adventures. So I joined Mertz right then in 2021, and it did a full flip, and we lost a lot of really great talent and realized that we had the opportunity to like restructure how we hire. So we focused a lot on identifying the right type of culture fit for the team, and we really focused on trying to make our agency the absolute best place that you can work as a designer. A lot of design agencies that I've seen, they have some toxic ego involved in them, and we really wanted to create a place where people felt safe and excited to come to work every day. So we've been focusing a lot on that. And then the other thing we've been focusing on is retargeting who we're looking to work with. So really diving into who are the best clients for us and understanding who they are and why, and then how do we get there. So that's been like my first year of ownership, is being like, ooh, what has worked and what can I learn from what they did for the first era and take it into the next new era at
Yeah.
Mertz.
And what you're talking about is so important because I feel like a lot of companies maybe either are realizing that now and haven't before, or they're
Mhm.
just still slow on the uptake in terms of there's two very distinct parts to your company. There's the inner part, there's your culture, and then there's the outer part. And it seems like you focused really on both of those things, right?
Yeah.
They tie into each other because if you once you can really figure out what your own brand is with your culture and everything, it makes it easy to align on the outside with other potential clients.
Yeah, and we're using how we're aligning on the inside to sell on the outside from the standpoint of one of the things that we really focused this year on was creating this program that we call Launchpad. And it is really marrying two of my passion points as well as the studios. One is students. So we really love working with students. We love bringing co-ops in. They're just so energetic and passionate, and we really get a lot from teaching them. And pairing that with our love for the small businesses in our community, that you see they have all these great ideas and these great products, but they don't have access to agencies that can help them go from a good idea to a great product. So we created this program called Launchpad where we're putting a student together with those small businesses, and we're allowing the student to be the face of the project that we do with them. And then we're giving the small business a lower price point, right? Because they have a student as their interaction point. But out of that is coming some of our best work, because my leaders who are mentoring the students are really pushing the bounds, and the students, they don't have any preconceived notions. So they're creating things that are a little bit more unexpected, which are going to
Yeah.
help really put a product on the at the forefront. And what is really cool about that is the relationships that we're building as we're creating this program in our city are now introducing to me people all over the country who are talking about launching new products and brands at different venture capital firms. And to me, it's very exciting to see our idea of how to make our inside studio work better, and it affects what we're going to be targeting right on the outside. So it, when it all works, it's like magic.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
wow, that's really cool. So that yeah, where are you finding these students that are, because that's such a great deal, not only for
Yeah.
businesses, but also for students that are looking for work,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, it's been a long year. We've been meeting with as many universities in our area as possible so that the students can be in office at least 3 of the days every week. So we have been working with a lot of the universities in within 2 hours of Cincinnati. But we do have University of Cincinnati, which basically pioneered the entire co-op program. They do year-round student
Wow.
placement. And then in the summers, we're working on bringing students from other universities into the program too. But Shiva, I'm telling you, like watching these kids go from like day one where I say, hey, by the way, you're meeting your new client in 2 hours, and they're like, I've never talked to a client before, to watching them like present design concepts and strategy
Yeah.
throughout the course of a semester, and then having them present their final project at the end. Like it is a night and day for these kids, and they're going to have beautiful portfolios that now they can go out and go get a job. But I will say I'm already snagging a couple of them. There's only going to be a couple I let go because they are so good.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a cool
Yeah,
concept. I love that.
thank
Um,
you.
I want to talk about your branding, your unique approach to branding for a second, because you guys have this whole concept where it's think, make, and move, and those are
Yeah.
the stages that you take people through. Can you walk us through how these phases work together to create memorable and impactful brands?
Yeah, absolutely. So think, make, move is really thinking about, well, thinking, it's really based on the methodology of how you go to market, right? So like when you have an idea for a brand or a product, there's that first stage where we really dive in to understand, right? But we approach think in a very collaborative way. So it's more of a workshop slash focus group setting. I'm not going to tell you your strategy. We're going to work with you to pull it out of you using interactive workshops and different types of engagement techniques. And then we move that information that starts the whole thing into make, is where we then apply it, right? So make is where you're creating it out of that strategy that you establish and think. And then move is all about the strategy to move it off the shelf. So what are the different tactics? What are the different things you need in your toolkit to get it off the shelf? And for a lot of our clients, it's a lot of B2B video and animations to help sell it into Walmart or Target. And then sometimes it's more of the social media videos or the online videos that our clients need to create an e-commerce platform. So we're really like structured to help them go through the whole process. But because we're us and we try to live that like low ego model, we jump in all the time, right? Like with people, whether they're in the think, make, or the move stage of launching their product.
Wow, e- every part of it and the way that you work, it's so unique in that it's so incredibly collaborative. And each stage sound, has it always been like that? Was it always this collaborative, or has this been an evolution?
I think it's been an evolution as we've fine-tuned what we want to bring to the model. So I'm not a big believer that I know everything, right? Like we're big believers that you know your product and your idea best. You just need help telling that story and pulling it out. And so using the different type of engagement techniques is really how we help them do that, instead of me telling them, right, this should be your strategy. Because I don't know everything that you're putting into it. You do. So how that's my job is to pull it out. And I'm not going to lie, I think it's way more fun to do it that way, which is why I have really been working to fine tune that process.
You seem to have really, for lack of a better word, procedurize brands. And you mentioned interactive workshops. What are those
Mhm.
interactive workshops like? Could you give me an
Oh,
example?
yes. One of my favorite interactive workshops was with an organization called the Bethany Legacy Foundation. They're in Southern Indiana, Madison County, and they had created an evergreen fund to help improve the health of Southern Indiana, which had a lot of like mental health deserts and all kinds of issues in that area. A contact that I have is the CEO over there, and she has worked with me in the past with the engagement type workshops. And what we did was we created a tour of the county, and we performed a series of workshops with all the different people in the community. So we went to 3 or 4 different community areas and we did workshops with the actual people in the community to understand from them what are their health priorities, what is missing in their world that they need to be healthier individuals, what kinds of things do they want to see their community do for them. And then we talked a lot about if you had an entity coming to help you, what brand archetype do you want them to bring? What do you want them to show up as? Do you want them to show up as telling you what to do, or do you want them to show up as your friend? Do you want them to show up as like a magician who makes things happen out of nowhere? So we worked with them, and then we also worked with the specific stakeholders to create the brand. And I think those workshops really drove more than just the brand. They drove the priorities for the county for where they were funneling some of this money. And I had a couple of people that enjoyed the workshop experience so much that they came back from different location and visited and joined other workshops in the county because they had so much fun, and they made the comment like nobody's ever asked me before and I feel heard, and that meant a lot to them. So it was a really great exercise in listening in order to create a brand based off what the community wanted and needed, which is what this whole foundation was all about. Is that
Amazing. Wow. Yeah. No, that's wonderful. And this is the type of value that an outside agency like yours brings. And this is why it's so important to have that, not only the resources, but also just the view, right? Just the thinking to be like, okay, here's what we need to do, and here's how we can make this happen. And
yeah.
there's so much value in what you guys do there. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insightful. I think we learned things that we never dreamed of learning in the process. It was amazing. You should check out Bethany Legacy Foundation and their website and telling their story. It's really cool.
Well, that's awesome. So, Christy, tell me this. What's next for Mertz Design Studio? What's on the horizon?
Well, the Launchpad program I've been developing all year, we just put into effect and officially launched back in October. So in the new year, we're going to be really applying that methodology to the studio. I have 4 students coming in January that will be focusing on the program. We also had the opportunity to meet a couple of really great woman-owned or woman-based venture investment firms that we are looking to create some deeper relationships with so we can get involved in the launching of new women-owned and women-backed products and innovations, which is very exciting for me. And I, from there, I don't know. I'm sure I'll come up with something that'll be new that I'll surprise
Yeah.
you with.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have you back on to talk all about it. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Christy, this has been awesome. Where can people learn more about you, and where can people learn more about your agency?
Yes, our website is www.mertzdesignstudio.com. We have everything on there, including a whole tab that tells the story of Launchpad. And we're also fairly active on LinkedIn and Instagram under Mertz Design. So you can find us there, and please reach out because I would love to share more about all of the programs we're working on this year.
Great. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.